Like I have a fucking katana and I'm boom, ching, ching, ching. Let's ignore this. We don't want to have to fight against our bodies. We want to steer our bodies away from the fight, like Fruit Ninja back in the day. Chop them. Start going towards those deep waters where we want to steer away from. Okay, we need to stay out of those deep waters. How do we stay out of it? We stay. All right, boys, got a very, very, very important video for you guys today. As you guys can see by the title, today we're going over how to avoid relapse on SR, aka semen retention. You guys have been following this channel for a little bit. You know about how we feel about semen retention. It is a necessary part of having success as a man. It is a necessary part of the evolve method, which is the way you become the best version of yourself as a man. Right now, you guys are following on the journey. I am currently on day 17 of this SR streak. My brother is, I think, a little over a month. They started 30-something. If you guys are watching this video, hop on this current streak with us. We're going to see how long we can go. I'm going at least 90 days. The longest I've ever gone before was 80 days. That was during the fight prep before my last MMA fight. I haven't gone more than that. Now, I'm going at least 90 days. And I'm married and I have sex very often, yet still doing SR. So I'm making a video on that right after I film this. We're filming the how to have sex or be in a relationship and still do SR. Hop on this streak with us, boys. If you guys are on the streak with us, let us know in the comments what day you're on, okay? What day streak are you on? Join us on this current streak. Let's see how long we can go. Every video, if you guys are watching, comment on every video, your streak, okay? As accountability. All right, today you're on day 7. The video we post tomorrow, say day 8 SR. Let's go, okay? So, getting into it. How to avoid relapse on SR. The number one point that we need to make first here is that, let's talk about this one right here. Willpower. How important is willpower when it comes to avoiding relapse on your semen retention streak? It is practically useless. If you guys are even getting to the point where you need to use willpower on your semen retention streak, you already failed, okay? Some people have more willpower than others. Some people can use willpower in certain situations to power through the urges. But the real goal when it comes to creating a reality for ourselves that allows us to go on long SR streaks is to make it so we don't even get into the situation where we have to use willpower, because it will not work, okay? We are in these biological bodies. Even though your soul, your higher self, wants you to go on a long SR streak, all right? If I could decide, I would say, yeah, I'm going on a 5-year SR streak. I'm going until I want to have a baby, all right? I genuinely would say yes. If my soul was fully in control, I would say yes, I'm doing that. Unfortunately, our souls are in these material bodies that don't have the same higher motives as our soul. These are two separate things, our soul and our bodies. So, how can our soul steer our bodies as much as it can in the direction that we want it to go to avoid relapsing on SR? Our bodies want to relapse a lot. That is the purpose of our bodies. All right, if we're surviving beyond survival, the next thing our bodies want to do is to release and do the opposite of SR. Have 0-day streaks and have it be with a different woman every single time. That is what our bodies want. So, how do we steer our bodies in the direction of a long SR streak? What we have to do is avoid the pitfalls and avoid the traps that lead us down this path to where we have to use willpower, because now we're fighting against our bodies. We don't want to have to fight against our bodies. We want to steer our bodies away from the fight. Boom. Clip that. So, I got 4 main points here. Okay, this is the first word of each of these things. All of these are going to be extremely important. Extremely important, extremely effective. Point number 1. Stay busy. The number one way that you guys are going to relapse on SR is if you have nothing to do. If you are at home, laying around, you're not chasing any goals, you're not occupying your mind with other things, you're not using that sexual energy that you're going to get from a semen retention streak to transmute and funnel into things that you're pursuing, that sexual energy is going to go down and it's going to build up, and your body is going to, your ship is going to steer into the waters of lust, and you're going to have to use willpower to bring it out, and that's a lot of times going to be too hard, and you're going to relapse on your SR streak because you're a biological male, and when you have nothing better to do, your body is going to force itself to do what it wants to do, which is reproduce and relapse on your SR streak. So what do? We stay busy. We use our conscious soul to make our bodies do things to stay busy. What does this mean? We need to be out of the house. We need to be doing, even if you can be in the house actually and get a long SR streak, but you need to be doing things. You need to have projects that you're pursuing, okay, no matter what it may be. You're learning a new certification. You're going to school. You're working on your schoolwork. You're doing something for a job. You're going out and going to your job. Take a big chunk of your day. You want to have as little free time in the day where you're just doing nothing and just rotting as much as possible. Okay, and that includes other dopamine sources. The more time that you have to play video games, to scroll, to smoke, to drink, to just lay around and do nothing, your body is also going to start going towards those deep waters where we want to steer away from. Okay, we need to stay out of those deep waters. How do we stay out of it? We stay busy with other things that are not those deep waters. Deep waters I'm referring to as lust. So, staying busy, we also need to do things physically. We need to physically exert our body. Okay, exercise, gym, martial arts, those are going to be number 1, 2. Other things too to transmute, yoga, etc., qigong. These are all going to be things that allow us to stay busy and not have us become bored. What is our body's going to do when it's bored? It's going to do what it's biologically craving to do, which is relapse on your SR streak. This one's pretty simple. I'm not going to have any specific tips, tricks, or advice for this, guys. Just figure out things that you can do in your day to not have boredom, okay? Start doing things. Start signing up for things. Start committing to things. Start going out. Get a job. If you need to, get another job or volunteer for something that makes you busy so you don't have time or you're just sitting around, okay? The more time you have to sit around, I promise you, it's going to be very, very hard to go on a streak. Number 2, deflect. Mental fantasy. You must deflect mental fantasy and lustful thoughts when they come into your head, because at times they are going to come into your head, especially when you are not being busy. There are certain times in the day where even if we're trying to stay busy with the rest of our routine, we're not busy. Specifically, this is going to be when we're going to bed, and even more so when we're waking up, because our body produces testosterone at night, we rest, and because we're well rested, we have more energy built up, we're going to feel more aroused. At night, if you've had a very busy day, your body's going to be more tired, you're typically going to be less aroused, as long as you had a busy day and now ready to go to bed. But in the morning, it's going to be very hard. This is going to be the main point where I get the most lustful thoughts, and most guys are going to get the most lustful thoughts as well, where we're laying in bed and not getting up. And so we have morning wood, and these fantasies are going to start creeping in. You guys know what I'm talking about. The key here is you must not let these fantasies take root. As a high testosterone, healthy man, you are not going to be able to not have any fantasies or lustful thoughts ever come up into your head. Now, the more that you deflect them, the more that you stay busy and do these other things, which we'll get to, the less they'll come up. All right? Right now, I'm not really getting that many lustful thoughts, like a little bit. Joey, he's over a month in, he's getting basically nothing. He's not horny at all. All that sexual energy is transmuted into spiritual energy right now. Guys, if you guys watch his videos, his aura is insane. Mine's getting there. I'm just a couple weeks behind him in my streak. So, deflect mental fantasy. What is deflecting, guys? Literally, when I'm laying there with my eyes closed in bed in the morning, before I get up, I'm having these thoughts try to creep in, I literally visualize me like I have a fucking katana and I'm boom, ching, 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 deflecting the lustful thoughts in my head. That's actually what's happening. Lustful thought comes in, I'm thinking about this scenario with a girl, deflect. I'm thinking about, I want to do this later, deflect. You think about that girl you saw on Instagram or that scene you saw on that website, deflect. Like Fruit Ninja back in the day. Just chop them down before they come in. Literally, this is what, actively doing this. This is literally the technique mental technique that you need to do. You need to think, deflect, and when you're doing it, say no. In your head, say nope, 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 when those thoughts are coming in. It's a conscious choice that you make when the thought first comes in to grab a hold of it and say, I'm going to go into this thought. That is a conscious choice. That is when you have the most control, before you say that. Before the thought takes root, when it first comes in, you have a choice to either deflect it or say, accept it and say yes. Because you know what? It feels good to accept it. You get dopamine. It feels good. You're thinking about it, right? You're getting some dopamine, not as much as if you were actually in the act you're thinking of, but you get some dopamine just kind of like you were in that act. All right? Makes you feel horny. Hits the dopamine in the brain. You thinking about it. So, what we need to do is deflect that before it takes root. It is a conscious choice at that moment, but the second you let it take root, now we have to use willpower to get out of it. All right? We're steering the ship. There's deep waters right here, right? Or freaking, I don't know, choppy waters here. And the boat's just grazing by. It's trying to take us in, and the boat's kind of going like this. We can steer it back onto the calm waters. But the second that we say, ooh, that was kind of fun, we do a little slight steering into it. We say, okay, let's go into it. Boom. Now that current's taking us, and we're going to have to fight really hard upstream to get back to the calm waters. And eventually, it's going, even if it's not right there, now your brain's in that mode. Now you're going to be thinking about that throughout the day. Even if you don't relapse right then and there, which a lot of times you will, if you let that thought take hold. You're going to be thinking about that throughout the day. Maybe even not that day, maybe the next day, though. Now you're in the cycle of accepting those thoughts. Right? You're addicted to accepting those thoughts. Fantasizing is another version of porn. It hits the brain in a very similar type of way. It's not nearly extreme because it's not actually visual with your physical eyes, but it has a similar effect. There's a lot of guys who they get similar effects, including me. I was not watching porn for a while, and when I started dating my girl, I was fantasizing still. And I started dating my girl, and I noticed that I wasn't able to be like that aroused when I was around her. Because I had been in monk mode for so long, but I was kind of fantasizing. I wasn't dating. I just conditioned my body, like how guys condition their bodies to be to porn, so they get porn-induced erectile dysfunction. I had like fantasized-induced ED kind of. And it was fixed itself pretty quick within like a month of me like purposely deflecting. Because I realized the effect it was having. I was like, oh, I'm not watching porn, it's fine. It's fine to fantasize, you know, it's healthy, it's normal. Don't do it. Deflect it. Number 3. Speaking of your eyes. Protect your eyes. Actually, before we get to this, guys, I want to show you guys a little graph to help better visualize too how important deflecting is. Say we're on the edge of a cliff. Okay. Here's the cliff. Okay, and this is us up here. And this is, we're on we got a nice little streak going here. Okay? And a lustful thought comes in. And the lustful thought it's down here. Here's the lust. Lust is more like this. The lust is down there. And it looks fun. It looks pleasurable down there. It looks like dopamine down there. But when we first see it, we can consciously choose to stay up here. And it's not that hard. Or it's the easiest that it's ever gonna be because it's flat, right? We have to take a step to start going down this mountain towards this. Okay? So that lustful thought comes in and you deflect it before it ever takes root, we stay here. Okay? But the second that you allow it, that you say, I'm going to go into this mental fantasy and actually fantasize more about what's coming into my head, we take another step here. Now we're here. You see where we are now? We're on a down slope. And it's not that much, right? If it's just 5 seconds you think about it, or 10 seconds you think about it, you can still put yourself back up. Okay, let me turn around. I gotta take some steps back up here. Right? It's gonna be a little bit of willpower. So it's like a little bit of work, effort to get back up here. All right? But you still can. But it's harder than if you deflected it from the beginning. You didn't let it take root. Say we go deeper into it. Now it's a full, it's a whole minute or two we're just thinking about this. Now we're here. Now we're really getting close to the flames down there. And to get back to the safety, we gotta be careful because we gotta climb up this mountain now, and it's a lot steeper. It's gonna be a lot harder to get back up there. It's gonna be a lot harder to get back up there than when we were here, and obviously we're already here, so it's gonna be way harder to get back to the state than just staying there in the first place, than deflecting the thought in the first place. And so we go deeper into that. Now we're almost all the way into the lust. And you guys are starting to touch yourself a little bit while fantasizing in the morning. We're holding on. We're not even standing on our own 2 feet. We're hanging onto the wall to prevent us from falling. And it's hard, and our arms are starting to hurt. We don't know how long we can hang on. If we want to get out of here, it's going to take immense willpower. It's going to be very hard to climb up out of that cliff. We could do it, but most people are not going to be, it's pretty steep. Most people are not going to be able to do that. It's going to be a lot harder than it was here, a lot harder than it was here, and way harder than if we just deflected that thought from the first place. Next thing you know, we slip. You relapsed. That's how it goes, guys. Because you let that thought take root. You did not deflect the mental fantasy. At first, boom, you let it take root for 5. You didn't deflect it when it first came in. You're strong. All right, boom, boom. Nothing's touching me. And then boom, ooh, let that one touch me for a bit. Ooh, that kind of feels good. Then I'll deflect it. That's either here. And you do it for a minute or two, and then you're here. Now it's 5-10 minutes. You've been laying there. You're kind of rubbing yourself a little bit. All right, maybe humping the bed a little bit. Next thing you know, you pull out your phone, go to incognito mode, and your streak is over. Okay? Deflect the mental fantasy. Now, move on. Protect our eyes. Okay? This comes before that because this is even more of a conscious choice. And this is easier if we're doing this. If you guys are staying here, it's going to be much easier. But this is something we also have to take into account because it's very huge, right? Men are visual creatures. So we're going to fight against media that is going to lead us down this cliff and bring mental fantasy into our head. Specifically, it's going to be social media, guys. View any erotic content like the plague with your eyes. When I'm scrolling through and I see something, say even on like Snapchat, like that like news page, they just throw so much. You can't even control that algorithm. They throw so much lust at you. If I see something or a Snapchat girl like posing her ass or something like that, immediately I'm like, ooh, right away. The second that you see it. Alright, sometimes I slip up, maybe I'll look at it a little bit. Ooh, I won't click on it. I'll just kind of look at the preview. Oh. That's me going down here. Gotta be careful. Alright, you click on it. Boom. You're here. Now you're scrolling through all her stuff. You're here. Next thing you know, you go lock yourself in your room. Boom, you're there. Protect your eyes. Obviously, you guys know about actually watching porn, but this is more for when you're just on your phone and on social media without actually watching porn, guys. When things are trying to get in. So you're just scrolling, you're looking at reels on Instagram, lifting reels, gym reels, and then boom, some gym girl comes up. And she's like, she's posing. She's not gonna give you any advice. She's just showing her body. All right. Oh no, scroll past. Protect it. Fight. Again, you're here. Before you say, I'm gonna choose to look at this, you're here. The second that you say, I'm gonna look at it just for a second, you're going down this path, guys. Okay. When you're here, you have the most control. It's 100% a choice when you're here. When you first are laying in bed and those thoughts try to come in, it's a choice to indulge in it. You don't have to. You can keep the ship in the calm waters, even though the rough waters look kind of fun. When that thing is up on your phone, you can't protect your eyes. It's a choice. But the second that you choose to, it no longer becomes as much of a choice being up here because you got gravity working against you. Number 4 is a huge one, and one that I just have realized recently in the last month. Be social. This is going to give you This is where the motivation for SR comes from. Is being social, is being around people. Because when you're in your room all day, or you just go to your 9 to 5 job and come back, and you don't have to interact with that many people on a social basis and be meeting people and be making first impressions all the time and be around women and everything like that, if you feel the negative effects, the low confidence, the bad aura, the shame from continuously relapsing, whatever. You just feel like shit in your room. Okay. But what about when you feel like that in front of the tribe? In front of when there's women around and they're reading your aura. And there's guys who you want to respect you. And social connections that you want to build. But you have negative aura. You have a shameful energy that is repulsive to people. You don't ever want to be around them. So what you need to do is force yourself to be social and force yourself to have social things on your calendar so that you have the motivation to do SR, because SR, the social aspect of SR and the benefits that you get in terms of socializing is the most profoundly different. It's the most profound difference from being on no streak versus being on a streak. And on a streak, I love socializing because I feel my aura. I feel like I feel powerful. People are drawn to me. Women are attracted to me. When I lose my streak, it's gone. I'm telling you, I just have women be on a long streak, women literally like staring at me, doing crazy things to get my attention in the gym. I think it's literally subconscious for them, because then the next day I lose my streak and they like literally don't even look at me. They were just like doing RDLs in front of my face with their ass pointed towards me, and now they're not even looking at me. Like I'm like invisible. It's crazy, guys. And nothing changed about the way I look, my physical appearance, in terms of my flesh, my bones. It was just my energy from semen retention. So me and Joe have been working at a high-end gym, being around a lot of beautiful girls, high-status people, and we have to make a good impression and get clients. Get people, have such good positivity and energy that people want to train with us. And training there is freaking expensive. So pay a lot of money to be around us and our energy. So it's this is the longest streak that either of us have gone on in a while, because we have so much motivation since we are being social, and we know the detriments that if we lose our streak that we built up, it's going to have such a detrimental effect. We're not even going to want to go into the gym, but we have to, that it gives us so much motivation to stay on the streak and to deflect mental fantasy and protect our eyes. All right, it helps. We're also busy. This goes along with that, but this just going to your job in the gym, it doesn't have the same effect as this. Right? It helps you stay busy so you're never bored, but it doesn't give you the same motivation to not give in to the urge or not give in to the fantasy, or not look at the thing on the screen when you see it. So be social, guys. Join a club. Join a martial arts gym. All right, do something co-rec. Even if you're not fully evolved yet, even if you have not getting shooting signals, you don't feel that confident, just do it. Just go there and be there. Even if you're not that confident, even if the girls aren't noticing you that much in the beginning, or you don't understand female, they don't feel confident to be masculine, seductive around women. Just be social, be good vibes, be friendly. All right, because it's going to help you on your SR streak, which is going to fuel you doing the method, which is going to make you more attractive. And eventually the woman will notice you. I promise, as long as you guys have an average base. I'm not saying if you're a 4'11" tall man that you're going to have women swooning over you if you're on a 100-day streak. It's not going to happen, guys. I didn't make the rules. I'm just trying to tell you guys how to navigate it the best way possible. But if you are just an average guy, a normal dude at least, in terms of your base, do SR, do the method. I promise you, you will get attraction from women eventually, and you'll get respect from men, and you'll feel confident, positive, happy. Let's get it, guys. Let me guys know if you have any other questions in the description. Let me know if you guys got value from this video. Please put any suggestions for videos you guys want us to make. Guys, when it comes to self-improvement, we know everything. We know a lot about a lot of things. I'm not going to say we know everything, because we're constantly still going to keep learning. Right? We don't know everything yet. I'm still researching all the time. Right? But I know a lot of things when it comes to many different topics of self-improvement, philosophy, psychology, life in general, dating, etc. So go through our channel, go through our playlists. They're separated by topic. Watch those. You guys have any suggestions, put them in the comments. Like I said, comment what day streak you're on. Get on the streak with us. I'm on day 17. Joe's on, I think, day 30-something. We're going till 90 at least. First 90-day streak of my life. And I'm in a relationship and having sex pretty much every day, although I'm taking a week break. So I'm gonna make after this, I'll make a video on how to avoid relapsing while having sex in a relationship. If you guys are not in a relationship, you're in monk mode. You're not worry about that, but still watch it because it's gonna be important for when you get there. High value here, guys. If you guys do these things, stay busy, deflect mental fantasy, protect your eyes, be social, I promise you, you're gonna see a drastic difference in your ability to go on streaks. If you do none of these, good luck. Good luck, boys. I hope you got a lot of this because you're gonna need it, and it's not gonna work. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, got some value from it. Thank you for watching. As always, subscribe for truth. Peace.